My app crashed every single time I opened it without fail. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk Virgin to Me. Today, we are going to talk about the most controversial comments and thoughts, reviews that you will find on the internet. So we scoured the internet looking for all the things that everyone has said about Virgin. And honestly, it's probably things you've already heard before, but let's talk about them. So we went to a very credible source. Just kidding. I don't know if it's credible. It's just on the internet. It's the most popular one that I feel like everybody goes to complain to. And it's not Facebook and it's not Instagram, which really no one kind of complains on Instagram. But it's none of those. So we went there and we looked for all of the top controversial comments. So we're just going to kind of talk about them because it's kind of funny. And I have to say that honestly, we hear it a lot. So I run a group called Virgin Voyages Cruise Tips and Deals on Facebook, and we hear all of this stuff as well. Although I think sometimes I feel like, I'm going to be honest, that everyone's really nice in that page because I think they know how much I love Virgin. So they're kind of like, yeah, we're not going to really talk bad about it because, she's probably going to yell at us anyway, which isn't true. I don't do any yelling. I'm not a yeller in any way, shape, or form. But I do think that some people probably don't say too much, but there are people on there that'll totally give their opinion and say what they do and don't like. So here's the first one that seems to always be what everyone says, or I should say that a lot of people say is, I love Virgin except for the entertainment. And I agree with Scarlet Knight. It's time for options. So for those of you that don't know, Virgin's entertainment is a bit different than what you see on normal cruising. So if you are not a seasoned cruiser and you've never cruised before, you won't know any different. You're probably going to enjoy it. If you are a seasoned cruiser, you will see the difference because there are no big Broadway shows. No one's going to have you sit down. It's not like going to, the theater. You're not going to have dinner and then go to the theater. You are going to have a really nice dinner. And then you're going out for the night and in seeing something really cool, eclectic, different, completely different, I should say, usually, and well thought out and out of the box, basically. So I think I've run through all the gamut of adjectives and whatnot on that. So, so that is what you're going to see on Virgin. I love it. I think it's fun. I will say that I don't go back every time I go on the ship. I don't always go to see a show because I've seen them before. So it is hard when you travel and you sail as much as I do, but the average cruiser does not, or sailor does not sail as much as I do, right? So you're probably going to enjoy going to see some of the shows a couple of times. One of the ones, it's Untitled Dance Show Party thingy. It's not thingy, but that's what I call it. That one actually is on all the cruise ships. I think I don't think it's on, I know this. It's not on Brilliant, but it's been since the beginning, but it's such a great show. And it's evolved a bit. They've actually, I think, in my opinion, I don't know for sure because I don't completely remember, but they have cut it down just a bit. So it's not as long because you do stand around the entire show. There is a moment in there where you join the show and you start dancing, which is a lot of fun. You wobble baby, wobble baby, wobble baby, which is super fun. You also hokey pokey, which is also fun. But there's some really great shows on Virgin. So it always kills me when I hear that because people are just so used to what they're used to, right? You're used to going to see a big theater production. You're used to going to see a comedian that comes and, wows you. Virgin has comedians. They definitely have comedians. I've seen them. I can't say that they've all been the greatest, but they're still, it's still a comedian. And I think comedians are subjective, honestly. So what I think is funny, the guy next door is not going to think funny. When he thinks it's funny, I may not think it's funny. So comedians are 100% subjective, but they do have comedians. On Scarlet, they actually have lulz, which is LOLZ, I think is how they do it. And it's 3 comedians in a row that come out and perform. So it's a really cool, I love it. I think it's great. So entertainment is definitely a controversial subject. I will say again, that's also, be open-minded because it is definitely different, but cool for that matter. The entertainment where they nail, in my opinion, is the smaller venues where they have the bands and they have a bunch of different bands. So you'll see a ton of different bands at different times. So On the Rocks has a big band that will happen, a solo band, sometimes a duet, and then there'll be smaller bands at SIP, and sometimes there's a smaller duo at the dock. So all those little ones are usually so great because they're just so talented and so wonderful. So I would say Virgin actually nails the entertainment, but it's definitely not for everyone. But I don't think that they did a terrible job. That's my opinion. But everyone else has a different opinion, right? But definitely you'll probably hear that. So I've given the explanation why everyone thinks the entertainment's bad. But honestly, you got to check that out for yourself. All right, next comment. I had a blast, but I think it's time to take a break and look to other lines. I love the lack of formality and dining style in Virgin, but I need some different restaurants or menus and different entertainment on board to come back anytime soon. I'm thinking Oceania or Explorer Journeys next. Hopefully I'll return to Vivi in a year or two. So the good news is, for the people that have sailed before and have continued to sail, they're changing all the menus, and they've actually already changed. So if you have not been back on board in the last month, you are getting new menus. Now, they're not all changed. There's just a few little twerks here and there. Tweaks? Not twerks. Tweaks. Tweaks here and there. Oh my gosh. Apparently everyone's twerking with their menu. There's just a few tweaks here and there. So not all the menus are completely changed, but there's a few items that are different. So I highly suggest that. And also they're bringing Brilliant Lady back on, or they're bringing Brilliant Lady on. So go on Brilliant Lady. Everything's brand new on all the shows. The food will be the same because, across the fleet, it's easier to have all the food the same. They do have the one restaurant that's new, which is Rojo, but the entertainment is completely different. So, and Resilient has really great entertainment too. So go on Resilient. Try a different ship. Don't keep doing Valiant or Scarlet, because Valiant and Scarlet are the two that do Miami back-to-backs, and that's what most people have been on. But the Resilient has amazing entertainment on it. So another comment is, and while the cruise was very well executed and the food and service were excellent as always, I was struck by how same each cruise has been. The restaurants are the same. It's basically, I'm saying the same thing I just said of the other one. Even the menus at the test kitchen are the same every time. The main change I noticed was how drink prices have increased since last time. So while I love Virgin, I love the vibe, I love that it's kids free, and I love the service, I think my next cruise is going to be a little different. It's on a different line. I'd like some variety. So again, I've heard this sentiment many times, and I'm not defending Virgin, but what I'm telling you is that if you go on Royal, it's the exact same thing. So if you stick with the Oasis class, and I'm not calling out Royal, I'm calling out all ships. So, it's the smaller ones. I want to stop for a second and say it's the smaller things like river cruising. You're not going to have the same river cruise twice because it's a smaller boat, and you can do those things with those small boats, right? The bigger ships have to provide for the lot of people, and that lot of people get the same thing. On Royal Caribbean, this cracks me up. I don't know who this person is, but if they sailed on Royal Caribbean, it's the same chop house. It's the same, oh my gosh, I can't think of the Japanese restaurant. It's the same Central Park, 150 Central Park. It's the same, Wonderland or whatever. It's all the same on every ship. Every buffet is the same. It's all the same. Every dining room is the same. So it's kind of funny to me that everyone says that about Virgin, yet it's exactly the same on Royal. So it kind of confuses me when they say that. My mind, it blows my mind. I really just don't even know what to say, because for me, it's the same thing on Royal. And I love Royal. So I just don't understand why someone would say that about Virgin and then be like, I want to go on a different line. Unless they've never cruised before and they just keep cruising on Virgin and this is their first cruise. And so now they're like, okay, wait, I'm kind of bored. I want to go see another one. That makes sense. But if you are a seasoned cruiser and you say that about Virgin, I feel like it's the exact same thing. I mean, listen, comment down below if you think that I'm completely off, but I feel like every time I go on Royal, it's the exact same thing. I mean, they hadn't changed their menus in years. So if you did back to back, you're getting the exact same menu every week in Royal. It's the same thing. So it cracks me up when people say that, because I'm like, I don't understand. Maybe there's just more options because it's a bigger ship. I have no idea. But that statement always cracks me up. So here's a good one that always makes me giggle. Pools and hot tubs are tiny. Sure, there are no kids running around, but stuffing adults together in a smaller area isn't that much better in experience. So everybody has complained about the pools. I have done more ship tours than you could possibly imagine. And since I hear this all the time, I literally want to take a tape measure out every time I go into a pool, and I want to check how big this pool is. Because I'm always like, it looks exactly the same size as Virgin. I don't understand. So now Virgin, their pool, if you don't know, if you've never been or seen it, they have, a square pool, right? That is deep. And then they've got shelves to lay in the pool, to like a sun shelf. I think it's called a sun shelf. But the pool is a decent size because of the sun shelf. But the actual, you're not doing any laps in this pool. Let's start there. But you're not doing any laps in any other cruise line pool. I'm going to be honest. I've looked at all of them. I have really, toured almost every single ship out there. Not every single one, but every cruise line. I know all the ships are different. But they're all pretty much the same size. So it always makes me laugh when I see that, when people say that. Now, I have been on board when I have seen that it's like sardines in there, like a can of sardines. But nobody cares. They're happier than pigs and you know what, because they're just happy to be out there. They're having a good old time. They're drinking, they're chatting, they're meeting people. It's like a pickup joint. I mean, I don't mean to say it like that because people are going to be like, "Oh, great, here she goes saying that it's a everyone's getting picked up." That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's like there's a ton of people there and it's just like a whole social club. Everyone's in there having a good old time, partying, dancing, talking, having like the best time ever. So I've never seen any issue with the pool, although people have complained about it. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've never even gotten in the pool. I think once on one sailing I went and got in the pool. I really should do it one time and say, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to the pool for the day, because I bet you the people watching is unreal, because I love a good people watching and that is phenomenal, I'm sure. So one of these days I'm going to try it. I'm going to totally be like, going to the pool today, not doing anything else, but going to the pool with everybody else. But I don't know. I see the whole thing about the pool being small, but I just am also kind of like, you're adults. What are you doing? Are you jumping in? Are you doing laps? I don't know. You want to do laps, do them earlier in the day. It's afterwards. It's going to be about a social club and everyone's just drinking and cooling off basically. So, and there's two pools that are there. So they've got the square pool on the one side and on the other side, it's this round pool, and both of them are always packed. So we'll say that. But I don't know. For me, I'm kind of like, ugh. But I guess I don't do it. So guess what? I'm going to do it. And if I feel like I'm packed like sardines, I'm coming back to tell you guys. I'm like, oh my God, that was miserable. I don't like people. Wah! Which I, may come back and say that. Hello, ladies. I want to talk to you about Girls Gone Cruising because I want you to know what it's about. Oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite cruises. Every year we go on this cruise. It started years ago. And I know that everyone always wants to go on a girls trip. Everyone's like, girls trip, girls trip, girls trip. This is the ultimate girls trip. Yes, sure. It's not all of your friends, but guess what you're going to do? You're going to make new friends. So if you're a solo that's like, I'm not so sure, come join us because you're going to make friends. Some of the girls that have been on this trip are now like BFFs with the people that they've met on board, which is amazing. And I love that. It makes my heart happy. So what do we do on this Girls Gone Cruising? We have so much fun. Not only do we have fun, but we also relax. We curate an amazing itinerary for you that has a bunch of activities. And let's be honest, you can either do them or not. We don't really care. We care that we want you to have fun, but we don't care. We're not going to say, oh my gosh, so-and-so didn't join us for that class that we held. No, if you don't want to go and you end up just laying in your bed ordering breakfast because that's what you need to do that day, that's what you do that day. But what it is, it's really just about girls getting together and just having the best time ever. So please join us on Girls Gone Cruising this year. It's September 17th through the 21st, 2025. And we're sailing to Key West, which is my all-time favorite destination because there's a lot of fun to be had in Key West. And we're also going to Bimini. So please join us. It's a great, great time. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. We're trying to make a quota that I've wanted for a couple years, and I need you. So join us. See you there. So here's another one. The rooms feel small because they are. The bathrooms are cramped, and I wish the Sea Terrace cabins had more places to sit besides the desk, stool, chair, and bed. So I feel you on that. Like when I think to a Royal Caribbean cabin, and most ocean liner cabins of the kid-friendly, kid-friendly segment. I would say that there's the bed, there's the couch, there's a desk with a chair, and then you have your 2 chairs out in the balcony. So Virgin does not have that. There's the bed, and the bed turns into this L-shaped thing when you want it separated, right? So to separate it, which is why there's nothing else in there, because to separate the bed, it turns into an L instead of 2 parallel twin beds like on every other cruise line where they just separate the beds. And then they have this chair over in the corner. I don't think there's even any chair. Oh, just the stool. Yeah, the stool in where the desk is, and you could sit there. I don't even think I've ever used the stool, which is kind of funny. So I can see why people would say, I need somewhere else to sit, because there really isn't anywhere else to sit. So the original design of the room was that you would have your bed put together at night, but during the day, you'd get this couch-like atmosphere when you separated the beds, and they would set this couch up for you every day. Well, that provided to be too much time on the workers. So out the door went the idea of setting up the couch, right? So the beds just remain there, and now you've just got this one chair and the stool. So I kind of feel you on the small room. You know, it's funny. I did a crew check-in with Virgin last year in May, and I was asked to speak at the crew check-in. And one of the questions that was asked of me was, what's one thing that you would change about Virgin? And I was like, I had to think about it because, of course, they give you the questions ahead of time, which is always nice so that you don't get put on the spot and feel like you're like, oh, I got to come up with something. So I thought about it because I was like, I don't know what I would change about Virgin, because I mean, at the time, and I still do, love everything about Virgin. So I actually said I would change the bathroom. I would make the shower much bigger in the bathroom, and not like, obviously you can't make it that much bigger because there's no space, but like just a tad bit bigger. So the newer Royal Caribbean ships, I feel like they've really paid attention to that in the bathroom. The shower is just a little bit more spacious than Virgin. And I don't know if I should say a little bit more, but it feels like it's a little bit more spacious than Virgin. I can actually turn and twist in the shower. So I would definitely say that I would change the bathroom and the sea terrace cabins just a tiny bit because they are a little small. So we do say that. So, it's funny. They fit up to 4 people in them. And people will ask me, is it comfortable? And I was like, no, don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't even know where you're putting your stuff at that point. So I always tell them get the extra large if they're going to put 4 people in there, or try to get 2 people in the cabin, 2 and 2, because it's a lot. And especially when it's girls, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. All the stuff, I can't even imagine. The bathroom, oh my god, it would be crazy. So yeah, I have to agree with that one and the sea terrace. But on the flip side, how much are you really in your room? I'm not in my room that much unless it's a sailing that I don't have a ton of people on. I don't have to entertain too much, and I've got a lot of work to do. I'm hardly ever in my room, which I'm assuming everybody else is doing the same thing. Hopefully. So another one, this one was really funny. My app crashed every single time I opened it without fail, which was hysterical to me, and I had to giggle. Actually, Ariana and I both had to giggle over it. So they created a new app, but true to Virgin, it kind of went out a little early, so it's not... Oh, bless you, Virgin. I love you so much, but goodness gracious. So they put out this new app in hopes to make everybody happy. But the fact of the matter is that the app doesn't go with Android just yet. It only goes for Apple, and it only does certain functions. It doesn't completely function for everything. So once you're on board, you still have to use the old app. So here we all are walking around with 2 apps now, and that's what's happening with the app. So I will say that Virgin is really trying with the app, and as you know, it's not easy to just build an app. Let's just build an app. If you build it, it's going to be fine. No, it takes a while. So of course they're doing that, but it just makes me giggle that they're like panicking and they roll out this app that is, half finished just to get everyone to like simmer down over the app. So an acquaintance of mine I saw made a post on Facebook the other day where he said, the new app got a higher score than the old app. He goes, it may not be that much higher. He goes, but hey, double is still double. So the old app score was like 1.6 and the new app score was 3.7 or something like that. So I was howling when I read that because I was like, well, I guess that's a positive side to look at it. Oh my gosh, I was howling when I read that. So yes, the app and the technology, while they really try to, be tech forward and tech savvy and all the things, oh goodness gracious, we're still getting there. But the product itself is amazing. I will say that even with the app, the onboarding is so easy. It's so much different than any other cruise line. And it's so quick and easy. And they just do a good job with it onboarding. They're like, what's your name? You tell them your name and they're like, great, give me your ID. Give them your ID. You've got a band and off you go. It's genius. It's so quick. So I do love that about them. But yeah, the app, yikes, it's crazy town. So I think I pretty much hit all the ones. There's another one that, and I don't have the actual quote here. I'm trying to see if I can see if there's one on here. But back in the day, it wasn't on here, but back in the day, people used to complain about the bar tab. And that was a very, very, very big thing, was the bar tab. People could not get that through their head. Well, I want a drink package. I got to have a drink package. What about the drink package? So they complained about that constantly. So that was a huge controversy for a long time. But I really think people are leaning into this bar tab thing and not hating it. I have to be honest. I haven't seen too many hate comments coming out for the bar tab. So that makes me happy that we're kind of changing everybody's thought. And I will say that when we started learning about this product, and I say we, I'm talking about Kelly and I, when we started learning about this product years ago, one of the things that they told us, and I have no doubt they did this, I mean, what company doesn't, was that they went and polled the people, the seasoned cruisers. So those that are complaining about this product now, those are the people that polled, right? Those are the people that they polled. And they said, what is it that you don't like currently about your cruise experience? And what they had found was one of them was a drink package, because they were saying, I feel like I have to drink so much in order to make my money back. I feel like, I'm not making, it's so expensive that I just have to keep drinking and I don't want to drink that much. And, they found that with the drink package. So Virgin came up with the new way of doing it, which is the bar tab, which truly is a bar tab, right? So you buy as much as you think or feel you're going to drink, which is so difficult and confusing, I'm sure, because you're like, I don't know how much I'm going to drink. But fact of the matter is it doesn't matter. If you drink it all, just keep buying. It doesn't change anything. The good news is you use all of your bar tab. So then that means now that you didn't lose any money. So it's use it or lose it for the bar tab. So it's a good thing if you do use it all and you just keep buying drinks. Doesn't change the price, doesn't do anything like that. So it's not like, when you go on the other cruise lines and they're like, oh, you bought the drink package, you'll get 10% off the wine, right? Or you get this. It's not like that at all. The wine's the wine. The price of the wine is the wine. So whether you have the bar tab or not, you still get the same price as everybody else. So that's the nice thing about Virgin, is that you drink what you want to drink. And if you end up with bar tab and you make some new friends, guess what? You're going to make more when you start giving away drinks or you start handing out shots. I'm always the shot lady handing out shots. So you probably want to find me because I'm always giving out shots if you do a shot. But that's why the bar tab came around. But it was a huge controversy because people were like, I need my drink package. I need my drink package. And I'd be like, but why? Like, I get it. And I understand. But, I think everyone's kind of simmered down over that one. So those are some of the most controversial comments that we found online. And honestly, it aligns with a lot of the things I've already read and heard and that I kind of have to, talk to clients about all the time. So hopefully we have discussed that a little bit, and I'm sure it's things that you've heard or possibly that you've read. And let me know what else you've heard and that I might have missed. So we'll leave you with that. And thank you for joining. If you'd like to follow me, I am Samantha at Fabulous Adventures Travel Company on Facebook. And I do run the Virgin Voyages Cruise Tips and Deals page on Facebook. And we'd love to have you in there. But again, like I said, comment down below. If I missed something, happy to chat about it. And we'll see you next week. Oh, we'll leave you with our favorite phrase. Whoops, I can't believe I forgot it. We'll leave you with my and our favorite phrase, which is, you float our boat. All right, see you later. Bye.